all done preparing and loading, it'll show the Sumpter logo. And then you're gonna take the camera on the toolbar. And then you're gonna click on your name so you can get that back up. So it brings it back up. And then I always make it bigger. So now you are, so then you just have to make sure that, and if you start it early, unmute and start the video.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, guys. I couldn't figure out how to do this. Okay, it is 9:33 on September 20th, special session in regards to colored work. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're supposed to get 3 bids for gravel, and which we have. And then Martin, I think you had a question on the amount of gravel we needed.
Yeah, I left a message yesterday
Yeah.
and I talked to, Chris, Wood, and he said he didn't believe we needed more than about $1,000 worth because what we had to do was minimal.
Okay,
So we're gonna do it with a truck and a half. Perfect.
okay. But that won't take care of the rust and everything.
That will be
up.
nothing but fill those 2 potholes.
Well, okay, he said all we had to do was, there's some low depths, just scarify those, grade them, put a little gravel in there, the potholes, the muddy.
One of the potholes is more than a pothole. It's a pretty
Maybe.
big hole. I mean, it's a huge hole.
But once you're scarified, you can move a lot of stuff around too.
So, but then we aren't going to take care of the crappy road from
The gate
the
in.
gate in that has the ruts.
No, we're supposed to take care of it all, but it's just maintenance is all. You know, I told him that we bandied about the number of 15,000. He says, you won't need anywhere near that amount to comply with what we intend.
Well, I don't know. I've been up on the road and we just need to be sure that we get the holes totally full and the ruts out of there, because someday somebody's gonna bounce off of that road. It's a pretty crappy road.
Well, they do, they deserve to, because they're going too fast.
Well, I mean, the ruts go deep that once you get stuck in them.
But once it's scarified, graded, and then rolled, tire over the grader, so, I'm just telling you what I found.
Right, and I just know I've been up there, so I'm gonna, what did we get for bids on gravel, Charlie? I don't think I had any of that.
1.5 inches minus to 3/4 minus $3.80. $30.80 a cubic yard. They're going to deliver it in 24-yard super jet trucks. And then that's from Artie Matt. Harney Rock is 3/4 blend, which the blend is a little bigger than 3/4. They don't have 1.5 inches because they're out. And it's $37 a yard delivered. And this is all based off of the 500 yard ordeal. And then Triple C comes back at $22 a yard plus freight, which is $325. So basically it's $765 per load. They need at minimum of 30 days for them to deliver the rock, so they can make it.
So this isn't for 3-inch miles.
I'm going by what I have in my hand when this was handed to me, and it says no larger than 3" minus.
Right.
So I
talked
would
to him
mention how-
yesterday, he said 3". He was worried about too small a rock will get kicked out.
Well, that's not, yeah, okay, well, that's not what he said, so,
So the thing is, those on the rock price isn't that big of a difference compared to what it costs to have a truck here. Trucking is where the money's at, not necessarily in the rock.
So Charlie, give us those numbers again, either per yard or per load, make them all the same.
one, let's see,
Well, this one here from Artie Matt, it'll be $30.80 a cubic yard. From Harney Rock, it will be $37 a yard delivered. And
Triple C.
and then triple C, I gotta do the math. for you on this one.
20 or 3/4 mile. 20, this is rock is $22 a yard, triple C.
That's per yard, but that's not,
That doesn't include.
that
the freight.
doesn't include the freight.
So the others include the freight.
And the others include the freight.
Okay.
And also,
They're the ones that were a month, they had a month out.
and triple C holds it the same way, so you can do.
Well, if they're a month out, we probably don't want to wait that long.
Right.
Well, we're not gonna try to do it before snowfall. It comes out to $31.87 a yard from triple C.
So if you go by the yard,
And that's delivered if you did it that way.
so if you go by the yard, then RD Mac is.
The cheapest.
It is the cheapest.
So do you,
Harney Rock actually can get it to us cheaper than this, but they're gonna send it in, not transfers, they can only send it in truck and pups, and we can't turn a pup truck around. That's the problem we have there, so I had to make them come back and give me 10 wheelers. So they're actually hauling 12 yards at a time. That's the reason why, that's one reason why I'm that.
Are they gonna prep the road from the highway all the way up to the entrance, or are they gonna?
No, the
Break that
only thing,
grade.
according to what we got here in an email for directions on what to do from the pavement, we're supposed to scarf where the potholes are, only 3 inches deep, no more than 3 inches deep. We're gonna scarf it to roughen it up. We're gonna put the gravel in the hole, move forward. We're not graveling the whole road. We're just doing the potholes. And I told Tim what we should do is start at the road, work our way in. So as the trucks come through, they're wheel packing it as we go. Once you get to the gate, because now we're out of potholes and we're into ruts. And now the ruts need to be filled in. So I told Tim what we'll do is scarf the ruts and then put the rock in the ruts. And then we can grade that road out. That's where you're gonna use most of your gravel. It's beyond the gate. And according to this, that's what we're supposed to do. But everybody like Tim and Jeff both, they said, and they told me, they said, well, the road doesn't seem to be that long. Well, we marked it and it's a mile, damn near a mile and a quarter from the end to end. Well, I went and looked at it, and the reason why I came up with mine is I looked at it and it's gonna be between 400 and 500 yards. However, that's the blessing I'm asking for council for, because it's easy to go, we didn't use this, we saved money. But if we only put in, if we say, well, we're only gonna put in $1,000 worth or $2,000 worth, and that's what we agree on, and we use that rock, and then if the Forest Service, that's gonna be up to them when they come up to give our blessing, because it's gotta be signed off according to them. All I'm trying to do is make this right, because we're getting ready to go to the Forest Service and says, hey, by the way, we're gonna tear up the road, because we wanna put in a new line. And if they go, because they very well can say, well, you didn't do an adequate job. But that's my opinion, and that's, Tim looked at it, Tim was thinking about 10 to 11 loads at 12 yards per load. So I've got about twice as much as he's got. But like I said, most of it that I see is beyond the gate because it's all dirt, it's not gravel and the ruts.
So, yeah, because it says here, this Chris, payment all the way to intake behind closed gate. So
Yep.
we do have to grade the whole thing.
You know, and the thing is though, because that's dirt, we can go in and we can scarf it and we can grade it out. But the thing is though, is you won't get the compaction like you will with the rock in it. And if Martin, he talked to Chris, so if they want 3" minus, we just tell them to bring us 3" minus. It makes a good rock. But in the shallow potholes, it's hard to grade out 3" rock.
So,
Because some of those potholes, if we do what they say to do, Tim's not even going to scarf the bottom of the pothole.
so Artie Mac has, the right size.
Yeah, they got the right size, and it's all crushed.
So do we have to commit to so many yards, or can we?
We can tell them whatever we want. I told them that it would be between 4 and 5. So they bidded it for 5, so I could get apples to apple comparison.
Sure. But I mean, if we can go and get less, and then
If
all
it's
get
less,
more if
yeah.
we need it.
Yeah, if we get less, then we just get less. It's only for the city money.
So-
Because like I said, each truck RD Mac is they're bringing 24 yards. They're putting it in supers or they're gonna put it in transfer.
So we'll get 24 yards.
So we're looking at 12 loads, 12 yards of load. We're looking at, what is it, 2,200, 2,300 bucks. Not 50, yeah.
We've got,
Well, yeah, if you're gonna go where you're only getting a couple of loads, they're gonna bring it to you at 24 yards at a time. Not 12.
Wait, just a minute ago, you mentioned 12.
That's what RD Mac is, that is what Arnie Rock is gonna
Arnie Rock.
deliver to us for. Because they only have 12 yards and pups. And we can't use the pups because we don't have a place to turn it around. Otherwise it would have been 24. These guys here are thinking 42 trips. And RD Max should be about 21 for 500 yards. But if we're not gonna go that direction, that's all I need to know is what am I supposed to call and ask for?
so they're hauling 24 yards at a time.
24 yards at a time in supers. And they'll have to go all the way in, they'll have to dump. Tim will be spreading while they go up to, they'll have to go clear in, turn around and come back out because there's no place to turn around on the road.
So the one load cover all the potholes and some up on
You're going, in the, where the two biggest potholes are, which are, they're pretty good size, you're gonna lose the whole truck and a half right there in those two potholes. The little potholes, those are the ones that Tim's gonna really scarf with. And then a lot of that, you'll probably end up, most of the rock, I figure on between the gate and the asphalt, I figure you're probably gonna get probably 8 to 10 loads there. And then, like I said, my thing is that because it's dirt, that there's no rock up on the top of them,
the.
and to fill those ruts in and get that graded out, that's where you're gonna lose probably another 10 loads. That's just under a half a mile.
Okay, the total you figured, what does that work out to in dollars?
About $15,000.
Well, if we get, so,
And like I said, if you do that, and if you say 15,000, then it's less than this, then that's great. But if we put in but like I said, that's, if we put in not enough, and if Chris comes and looks at it and says, we're good, then we ain't got a problem. But if he says, no, I'd like you to do some more, then we gotta regroup, redo it and start all over again.
so 24.
So like I said, it depends on how far you wanna go. And we're in the middle of September.
So you're running 21 truck, 24 yards, about $740.
Mhm.
You know, so what couple of potholes to take that one load.
It didn't take that load and a half. They're big potholes.
I just don't know where the 15,000 worth of gravel comes in if we're only doing potholes.
That's how many of them there is. Holes eat up gravel just like this. You think you got a little hole, and next thing you know, you just use the truckload.
So. So if we got 10 loads, how would that cover all the,
That'll get us up to the gate, for sure.
how many potholes are behind the gate?
That's where we have the rest.
Just the rest.
That's the majority, that's where, like I said, that's where I see a lot of rock in. And it also depends on how well, because Tim's gotta go around that there's a big rock sticking out of the ground that we gotta go around. Which the reps go around that big rock, and I think that's the world there, so red rock's not good for better.
So you're talking about, about 450 yards total.
Approximately, that's kind of the guesstimate. But like I said, Martin, that if we say that we're using between 400 to 500 yards, and they can, as they bring the trucks up, the further we go, the better off we are. At least we know we're pretty well covered. And if Tim can grade out some of the roads, but the road's not by any means doesn't have any canter to it. It doesn't have any shape to it. And it's like, and I don't know where the rock went that was in the road to start with, because it didn't like boil out.
He said, Tim told me from the gate on up, it is very hard to grade because there's Stonikers in.
Right.
And, so, you know, there's not much grading that's gonna go on there and not much, I don't think there are many potholes up there as I recall.
No, and those are more ruts than anything else.
Yeah.
They're lengthwise.
So, you know, when we start, we can cut them off at any point at that price, right?
Yeah. That's what I was saying,
Well,
we don't have to order X amount.
This is not a special price for anything. This is just what it is. So if we say, the only thing we need to do, which I'll have to get with Tim, because what has to be done is I need to know how many trucks they're gonna put on the route and how far apart Tim wants them spread apart. So we don't have 30 trucks sitting here in a line that Tim's using. Because if they put 2 trucks on the trips or 3, then put them every 45 minutes apart. And that's gonna tell them what they need to do and what to commit to.
Well, he's gonna do what Scarlet Line
Mhm.
it needs to be done. And I assume grade that out somewhat.
The only thing he's gonna try to do is knock the big boulders out of it. If he can come up, because like I said, we're only starting 3 inches deep, we're only long deep.
Well, but you can't really tell where you need to gravel until you've done some grading. Right?
Well, pretty much any place, just we have a hole. And they're holes.
Okay. But
That's not just a little pothole, it's about this big around. We're not doing it with a shovel.
all I'm asking is, he scarifies it, he grades it out as best he can, and then we make the decision on how much rock goes in there, right?
He will, yeah.
Tim will. Okay. I don't have a problem with that, because I don't know how much is gonna be there or is needed after it is graded out. And neither will Tim or anyone else. So once it's graded to some degree, I'll call it preliminary grading, then we, you know, Tim could determine what needs to be done. And I suggest he call, Chris. And I don't know if Chris can even come up. Chris has been really easy to work with. At least for me.
But the way I understood it, we were gonna rough it up and then fill it as we went.
Right.
So that the trucks were packing the gravel as we went.
The only thing I was gonna do is if this all flies today, which whether it does, whether it don't, we're gonna call and, I was gonna have Tim go up and scarf it out and grade it out today, so trucks can be here
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay.
That's, so we can get this done. Tim's leaving Friday to do a chlorine run,
So are we,
but like I said, I just,
Can't you, do the scarfing and the grading and then go back and determine how much gravel you want?
comes back to the same ordeal. All I need to know is how much money we're gonna spend on the road.
we need to.
Because if we're gonna leave it up to Tim to make the mind up on how much gravel it needs to be, whether that comes back to 1.5 loads or whether it comes out to 21 loads.
We need to come up with a price not to exceed.
That's what we need to do.
John had a question, suggestion.
Did you say you're gonna tear the road up next year, putting in the pipeline?
Not next year.
Not,
down the road.
no, this is gonna be 3 years down the road.
Down the road.
Okay.
Because when it gets ready to be done and we go ask the
Okay.
forester for the blessing to do so, and it's not necessarily the road, John, it's gonna be where they just trees out.
Okay, so
No, I just- no,
we
it's-
need to come up with not to exceed amount, that we can live with.
Well, like I said.
I mean,
that-
for
that-
now, if for some reason we needed more, then we'd have to come back and review where we're at. But we need to come to just not to exceed, to get the potholes and get some of the ruts
Yeah,
moved
that's,
out.
this is the reason why I went to Rob with the question of.
Yeah. So, because we want to be sure that we've approved enough, but we don't have to use all the money. But we don't want to exceed a certain amount.
I agree. All like I said, so I just need to give me the top end of the thing, and $1,000, I don't think it's gonna do it.
No,
Remember, Rob told us, or reminded us that, we have 15,000, but we really don't. I mean, to afford it, that puts us down really low. So,
he said we have the money to do this.
we do have the money. but
We have the money to
puts us
do
down
it.
Awfully dangerously low.
Well, the thing is we have the money to do this. And once again, this time of the year is when we start getting tax revenue to come in. So this is going to help cover this cost that we got
Well, do we
put on the
want,
fence for.
want to meet in the middle and to go? Go no more than $10,000 or $12,000.
I'll move, we go 10,000.
We'll
Well-
second it. If it doesn't, we'll have to come back.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I think if we get to a point where we definitely are short on gravel, we'll just have to meet and see where we're at. Have Tim come in and tell us exactly where we're at. Is that okay?
Yeah, Tim's gonna probably know after the first
Well,
day.
that's what I mean. So, he can let us know if we're really short or if we're gonna be okay. Okay,
So the market's coming from Artie Mac.
Yep.
We're up to $10,000.
Yep.
And
Well, I guess you need a motion to award that bid. I so.
okay, I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
I make a motion that we adjourn.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, I get to work.
Yeah, that was him just called.